Welcome into another episode of That's Boxing Podcast. I'm Dust.
I'm Coach.
And welcome in. We're back in the studio again, live, back to back. Feels good.
Doing what we do best, man. Best podcast in the world.
That's exactly right. But I also have the best boxer in the world sitting right here across from me.
Yeah.
I got to give you your flowers. Forget about it. You know, man, how does it feel? How does it feel to be 1-0?
Hey, dude, it's good, man. It was great. It's a good fight. It's good to get in the ring. Good to get in there and win. Obviously, winning is good. But, you know, win is, like I said in the last podcast, I was confident because I put the work in to prepare. And I just had to execute. And I got in there and I did it, man. I took care of business. And I had a tough opponent. He went the distance with me. I hit him with just about everything and then some. But he made it through, you know, and it was good. It was a good night.
Yeah, hats off to that man as well.
Tough kid, yeah.
You happy with how you did overall? And
no, I'm never happy, man.
That's good.
I always
That's what
want
I
more.
like about you.
I always want more. I could have done a lot better, and I will in my next fight in February.
Yeah. Is that the next one, Vegas?
Yeah, February 22nd, Las Vegas. The Unfinished Business Tour on the road.
If you had to pick one thing you wanted to do differently then compared to this fight, what would it be?
Oh, like in the performance?
Yeah. Keep the left hand up. I want to land the right or whatever. Like one specific thing.
I just need to put my punches together. You know, more quick combination punching.
Combination punching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just be studying Navarrete. I want to see that impersonation out there.
Wow, no, I can't move like that, dude.
Yeah,
I can't move like that. My coach will fire him. He'll make me quit. Just put them together, you know. Just pop, nice and quick. You know, it's tough. You know, I'm a defensive-minded boxer. I'm always looking for the way to get through without getting touched up too much. And when you let your hands go, as you're often told to do in boxing, throw punches and punches, and
right.
You leave yourself open to get hit. So a little bit more, right? Because you're just so busy punching, you're not defending so much. And looking back at the fight, I could see that I was even when I was in a clearly winning position, I was still defensively cautious, almost to a fault. I could have just let my hands go and got the guy out of there.
So like too defensively sound to an unnecessary degree.
I mean, it doesn't feel bad getting out without any damage. I didn't get hit clean off anything, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, that's not the point. You don't win boxing matches by not getting hit. You got to hit the guy too. So
yeah,
I just got to work on my output.
Yeah. Well, I thought you looked great in there, man. Hats off to you.
Thanks for coming, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
You know, I'm always going to be there. I'll be in Vegas. You know, why not? Any excuse to lose some money. But we'll make you some money today. Let's, this is an interesting episode because it's Saturday morning right now, 9 a.m. I think we should post this right after this. We got a fight. We got a card going on right now.
We should be
zone card
streaming this shit.
I know. So we got to get a pick in here. And I got my DraftKings up right now. I'm not listening to your fucking bullshit talking about your fight. Who cares? I'm scrolling the odds right now. Let's talk about this fight. Sonny Edwards versus Galal Yafai. Actually, kind of a good fight. It's been a lull the past couple weeks in fights, although we should look towards the great run we're gonna have towards the end of the year here. But this is like a sleeper good fight. Yafai kind of turned pro late. I think was making an Olympic run for a long time. Ended up winning the gold, and then didn't slow walk his career at all. You know, hasn't had that many pro bouts. Let's see what he's at here on this. I think he's under 10. 8 fights, 6 stoppages, but just jump right into doing 10 rounders. And these guys both have extensive amateur careers. They met in the amateurs, but it was forever ago. Pretty complimentary of each other's styles. No one talking too shit. Although Sonny Edwards did win that fight in the amateurs. And now they meet. And I think this is close to kind of a 50-50. I don't know what's your read on it.
It's interesting, their matchup in the amateurs. Edwards did win, but then they selected Yafai to go on to represent the national team for the Olympics, even though he had lost to this other guy. And that's usually how it goes. In America, we do that too, right? The high-performance team is kind of selected, and it doesn't really matter who wins or loses unless they really blow it.
Right.
But they know a style that they think is going to win on the global scale. So I think what probably went down here is that Edwards had a more aggressive professional style that beat and overwhelmed Yafai's amateur style, but their team, McCracken and the rest of their amateur system over there in the Great Britain, they saw something in Yafai that looked like a world-winning amateur style, right? And I think that could come back again and favor Edwards once again in this rematch in the professional ranks because Galal Yafai hasn't developed that killer professional style yet.
That's interesting.
That's my take.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. So between the two of them, Yafai seems to be the much bigger puncher, just in terms. I mean, he's just starting his career, but 6 stoppages in 8 fights is more than Sonny Edwards has in 21 fights.
So maybe he has developed a professional power,
Maybe he's
powerful
figured out,
style.
yeah, how to do that. Yeah, it's interesting. So Sonny Edwards is definitely the favorite on the money line, minus 135. Yafai plus 110. The fight ending by stoppage, these are hilarious odds. So Yafai, the bigger puncher, still plus 450 to stop him. Sonny Edwards to get the KO or TKO plus 1400.
Wow.
So he's the decision machine for sure.
Wow.
So that seems to be the smart money of Vegas, what they think is going to happen. Of course, the over 10.5 is minus 800. There's just nothing happening. So I'm inclined to fade a little money on Yafai, just because to me this is, I probably do, as you said, favor Sonny a bit, just having that much pro experience. But minus 135 plus 110, it feels like that's kind of a 50-50. Why not go Yafai and see what happens?
Yeah, I think there's a chance for that upset to happen for sure. This guy's got a lot to prove. He's the one coming off this amateur loss. He's got a big statement to make here. Edwards has been down before. We saw what happened with the Bam fight. He's not invincible, and he's not gonna make it the distance against every single boxer on the scene. So it's on the odds it's an upset, but in the world of boxing, you never know what's gonna happen out there.
That's boxing.
That is literally boxing.
I was going to ask you about the Bam loss. That was 2 fights ago, right? He got a win in between. But do you think it was a dominant beatdown? I mean, and people thought that fight was, myself included, I don't know if I said 50-50, but I think I favored Bam. But it was still like, hey, this is a good fight in this division. 2 really top-level guys, and it did not look that way at all. And obviously, Bam is really... That was part of that, maybe the first step in his run of separating himself from the pack and saying, okay, we're actually watching somebody legendary fight right now. But do you think he carries that loss, getting a brutal beatdown like that? And then I think his last fight, right? Well, didn't he get cut and it was bad and they had to go to the scorecards? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. There's something special about Bam, and he proved it that night. He proved he's a world beater. These European guys, when they fight each other, they have their own like little inner island rivalry thing happening. And I don't know if they necessarily bring out the best in each other when they box like that. I think a boxer like Bam, he's going to bring out his best wherever he's at, whoever he's against. I think Sonny might fall a little bit into an uglier, scrappier fight here with just the pride of the nation on his back and all this amateur beef behind him. Mm-hmm. And coming off the loss, is he going to be more careful? Is he going to be more cautious? I don't think so. I think he's going to be more aggressive. I think he's going to be more like, I got to get this guy out of there before he gets me out of there.
Interesting. Right? So he'll press the action more. Yeah. Like, I got cut the last fight. I got stopped the last fight. I had to retire the fight before that. Let's go for it.
Take this guy out.
Well, as we've seen, sometimes that's kind of the smartest game plan, and especially the other guy's not expecting that. When the odds are plus 1,400 that you're going to knock him out, but then it can be your undoing, especially if that's not how you naturally fight, and that's not his.
Yeah,
flavor.
And maybe not knock him out, but just stay on him, jump on him, stay on him, and just grind on him for the whole fight.
Right, not let him set the pace and take the center. And
yeah.
Well, I just put $50 on Yafai. Why not?
Wow.
You only live once.
Living dangerously. How much you put on me last weekend? I heard I had a hater out there in the crowd.
Listen, this house is paid off. Let's just say that. You did have a hater. Shout out that person sitting behind us, running their fucking mouth, and shout out Haley, fucking putting her in her place.
I know, right? You got a good lady there. It's good though. You got to have balance. If I got a lot of people in the crowd cheering for me, I got to have a couple haters too, right? Okay.
I'm gonna boo you next time. I think it's good for you. Overrated. String bean.
String bean. Hey man, it's called being lean, okay?
Yeah. I walk around with these extra 15 on me. It's just.
Dude, I got down to 162.
That's literally insane.
And I was like, that was like a week before the fight. I was like,
we can't weigh the same amount.
So I'm just eating like rice and chicken thighs and just drinking protein shakes. And I'm like, I can go up fucking 4 more pounds here. Come on. My body just wouldn't hold it, man.
Yeah.
I was just pissing it all out.
That shows you how obese you normally are.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
know, right?
that's the lesson there.
Yeah, 182 was just so
It's
obese.
really embarrassing, to be
But
honest.
you know what? It's been a week today, and I'm still 164. I'm just
And are you just eating whatever?
Dude, I
Now,
had a
Thanksgiving, let's go.
yeah, man. I'm just eating whatever the heck I want. Ice cream, fucking
Damn.
cheeseburgers. Yeah,
You'll get back up there.
I think. Well, I don't want to get back up anywhere. I want to get back to like 170, 175.
What's Vegas? What do you got to be at?
Same weight, 65.
165.
But it's a 2-day thing, so walking around at 163 is perfect.
Right.
So you don't have to like cut weight. You
Right.
don't want to. For the amateurs, you don't want to cut weight. Like, oh, I have 48 hours to lose 5 pounds or something like that.
Right.
You want to be on your fight weight. That way you can weigh in multiple days in a row.
I mean, you didn't look like sunken or anything,
Nah.
skeletal.
I felt really, really strong in my body.
Yeah, so I think that's your weight,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, before, when I was young, my early 20s, I was like 150 pounds, 155 pounds. I was just fucking super skinny.
Yeah. That's that young weight though.
Yeah.
You know? So that goes away and then it's
27, 28, and I started moving up into the 70s. And
you know what it is? It's the sadness. It's the sadness of life. You know, you just have enough regret that it actually weighs something inside of you. Right? Once you're 35, it's just like, oh, that's 8 pounds.
There you go.
Can't get that back.
It's yours forever.
It's yours forever. Should we get into boxing news?
Yeah, let's break some news here, man. Let's talk about some news. We don't break it. We just react to it. What do we got?
Well, it depends. If you don't pay attention to the news, we're breaking the news.
Breaking news.
WBO ordered Barboza versus Catterall as a final eliminator to face Tio. I thought that was interesting.
Okay.
That's a pretty good fight.
Yeah, that should be good. I like how Tio's like the top of the mountain, even though he hasn't been doing nothing.
He's depressingly inactive. I did see that. I think it was Tio's dad / trainer, right? Said came out and said, "Hey, we issued it was fights for Haney and someone else, legitimate offers." And someone was like, "Oh, like BS. What's a legitimate offer?" And he dropped the numbers, and I was like, "Oh, that's a pretty legitimate offer."
Yeah, it was Kambosos.
Kambosos,
A rematch with Kambosos.
which no one wants to see that fight other than Revenge Tour, 2024. But you know, maybe they're trying, but it certainly doesn't feel like it. You know, no one was impressed with his last fight, last opponent. Probably a terrible opponent to pick. You know, we talked about that a lot, given that he was never going to stop him. Why pick a tank that you get no points for stopping or not stopping? But then to just be that inactive the rest of the year, it's like, damn, man, you're kind of in your prime.
Yeah,
But-
well, you know, some news is he's gone over to work with the Canelo's team with head trainer Eddie Reynoso. And we've been saying for a long time that he needs to work with somebody else besides his dad, and it looks like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And he's working on some of those Canelo-style drills. He's got Reynoso on the noodles. But his dad is still right there looking over his shoulder the whole time. And we'll see how long that relationship lasts and how strong it can get, because boxing dads complicate things, okay? Trainers don't need the dad in there telling them how to operate. You know, you don't need all these hype men around. You just need a gym, a trainer, and a fighter. You don't need anybody else. Go home, Dad. We'll call you later.
Yeah.
You know, you don't fucking need to be here. Unless, are you working out too? Go hit the bag, man. Just quit staring at me.
I think the exception to that is Bill Haney, right? Who's not only as a business manager kind of moved his son in the right ways to at least, you know, have a lucrative career and be a name in boxing, but he also seems really good at taking that number 2 spot.
Yeah.
Where I have no idea if he contributes to the strategy of each fight. It's like, I've heard that he does, but who knows, right? But he certainly seems willing to bring in the right people and put them in the prime position, give them the authority to do what they need to do. And you see that juxtaposed with Tio's dad.
Yeah, well, he's never claimed to be, I don't think, a trainer, you know, pad man or anything like that. A guy who's, you know, in there working as the lead corner person or anything like that.
Right.
I don't know if he did earlier in the career.
But he's
or not.
there, like he corners them.
But
Like,
he's in the corner.
He's in the corner, and I think I feel like I've seen him listed as like trainer number 2 or assistant trainer or whatever. I think he feels like he has strategic advice, like, all right, we're gonna work on this or whatever. But he seems, from what I've heard, open, right, to other people kind of being heard and being more in their voice, being the primary one, right, for the training session. And I think that benefits him a ton because it lets him work with a lot of different people, but kind of have the mentorship of the dad that keeps the wheels on. And you just see that with Tio. It's like, fuck, man, this has hurt you. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully this is a good thing for him. He's got so much potential, but you're right. His prime is slipping away. His activity is way too low. And, you know, they're dangling a fight with him as some prize for these guys who have to fight this eliminator. But, I mean, how long are you going to hold on to this title before you defend it against a legitimate opponent? You know, do you tell me there's nobody else out there besides these 2 guys? Come on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at his box track. He did fight. I forgot about the Jermaine Ortiz fight in February. That feels like forever ago. So 2 fights in 2024. You know,
You
one
were
fight.
at that fight.
I
You don't
know.
remember being there.
I know.
That's
Well,
how bad it was.
I thought it was. It feels like it was more than a year ago.
Yeah.
It feels like it wasn't this year. Then one fight in 2023. That was the fight with Josh Taylor. 2 fights in 2022. 1 fight in 2021. 1 fight in 2020. But then see 4 fights in 2019. Right, so you kind of have this like cliff. You fall off, and you're fighting on average 1.5 times a year. It's like
Yeah, it seems to be all the top guys are operating at that work rate right now, whether it be because of injury or negotiations or mental instability. There's all these things happening that, imagine the fucking, what's your football team? What's your guys from Arizona?
Cardinals.
Yeah.
Come on, man, the impending Super Bowl champions.
What if they played once a year? If they could make the negotiations happen.
I wouldn't have a reason to exist from September to February.
Yeah, dude, it's boxing. This sport is wacky, but luckily there's a lot of boxers that constantly keep us entertained with all their bullshit and all their successes and failures. So when the fights like this happen or don't happen, or if Tio slows down, we can look at the next piece of news and see who else is going to make something happen for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the next big piece of news is Battle of the Davids. David Morrell and David Benavidez getting in the ring.
Yeah, that's getting spicy, man. That's looking really exciting. And I think that'll prove to be quite the battle. I think it'll be a real tough fight. But I think we're both expecting Benavidez to come out victorious in that one.
It seems like he's got the experience, and it seems like he just has that aggressive edge where he's just a bit more violent, a bit more pressure, and you just kind of see him walking through some stuff, and eventually the pressure catching up to him, to Morrell, that is, who I view as kind of slicker, and I always say this every time that I think Benavidez's defense is underrated, probably underrated by me, right? But I view Morrell as like the slicker boxer with better footwork and can fight off the back foot more, but I think Benavidez is just too much.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a destructive force, and I'd be surprised if Morrell can do much to him. Maybe win a few rounds with some evasive movement and some good jabbing and moving and some fundamental defense, but that stuff doesn't stack up over a 12-round fight when you're in there with a guy that can just wear you down.
This is a terrible question to ask, but if Canelo and Benavidez were to get in the ring, tomorrow, is your opinion on that fight, or who would be victorious, changing at all as you see Benavidez continue to go up in weight and just keep being as dominant?
I don't know. I think it proves Canelo's point that he's too big because he's so comfortable at these higher weight classes. Have you seen his training footage? This guy is training down in Miami, and they posted a video just yesterday or 2 days ago about something, 15 rounds, 3 different sparring partners. We're getting war ready, and it kind of pans around the room, and David's there. And he looks humongous, brother.
Yeah.
He looks at all at 210 pounds or more. He's very filled out. And,
Yeah.
he's like got that never nude thing going on where he never takes his shirt off in training, He's just like always has a big baggy t-shirt on. It's like telling you there's something under there.
Yeah.
He's looking like Zurdo Ramirez in there, brother. He's humongous.
And he never gets lean. I mean, looking at him at the face-off, look at him at a weigh-in.
Yeah,
and
even when he made 168, he didn't have a hard body.
No, and it's like it's kind of crazy, to go up in weight with that much bad weight. I think is interesting, and yeah, maybe he rehydrates huge because he just naturally, I don't know, fluffy like that. But he said once, like, I think I'll end my career at heavyweight, which is just wild when you hear somebody say that who fights at 168.
Yeah, well, Zurdo's on a path to be able to do that. He's got one more weight class to go, and David could do the same. But that'd be an interesting fight someday. Zurdo Ramirez versus David Benavidez at heavyweight.
Dude,
two guys that used to be at super middleweight.
Yeah, that would just blow my mind.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then, yeah, it's like, but they're both like 28% body fat.
They should do a series of fights where they start at heavyweight, and then every 6 months they move down a weight class and fight again, and move down a weight class and fight again, and then get back to 168. and fight again.
And the tiebreaker is just when one of them is hospitalized.
Like, just can't make the weight.
Yeah, they can't make the weight. They get down to like flyweight. They just can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think though it does prove Canelo's point that he's just a huge dude, and if anybody's going to be a weight bully, goddamn it, it's going to be me. That's Canelo's, saying.
I respect Canelo for that, except for the fact that he went and fought Bivol, like who's not a small 175. Like,
But he's not like Benavidez.
Why? Really?
No, I don't think. I think Dimitri Bivol walks around at probably 100 and I don't know, his 85 pounds, maybe 190. He said he would fight at 168 happily. Remember?
Right. But I'm still saying, like,
he says, I don't have to cut weight to make light heavyweight. It's just who I am.
But you look at his shoulders and like he's a bigger dude. Like I think he's as big a dude as Benavidez, especially when we're talking about how soft Benavidez is, right? Like, it's not like he's some like jack giant dude. Like, his arms are not that big. His shoulders are not that big. He's just got a lot of weight on him.
It's like his torso is large. I've seen him in person. I've met him. He's got a like large, like barrel torso and chest. He's real big. He was a big guy. He was a heavyweight kid. And maybe that's why it doesn't look like strong body, because he's lost so much weight throughout his life. That he's just got that softness, like extra skin kind of stuff hanging around. But he's a big dude. And I think, Canelo's, if they were to fight at 168.
But like, think about Berlanga walking around over 200. Says, he's like, I'll go fight Anthony Joshua tomorrow. Obviously, he's just talking shit, but he's a big dude. Right?
Yeah. Well, you're right. It's not just size. Canelo could beat up a lot of big fat guys, a lot of big, heavy, strong guys, a lot of 280 pound.
It's weird.
Some
it's
low level
weird.
heavyweight.
Yeah.
He could take him out. But his avoidance of that fight in particular will go down in history as one of the biggest ducks of our generation.
You think so?
I think it will. Though I don't disagree with Canelo. I think the guy is very dangerous and everything, but he's just humongous, dude. He's just a different kind of big, a different kind of strong.
Yeah. I mean, that the news, or like, there was like, I think pretty much all of this year, right? It was like fever pitch. People wanted to talk about Canelo ducking Benavidez. And now, especially, I guess the pressure got off when Benavidez moved up in weight and kind of validated exactly what you're talking. Oh, maybe he is too big, whatever. And props to him for doing that, for just chasing the next thing. Hey, man, I got to move on. I'm not waiting for the Canelo lottery. And he even said, dude, I wanted to fight Canelo not for the payday, but because I wanted a tough fight, and that's why I'm fighting David Morrell. And it's like, shit, okay, good for you, because that's crazy.
And Vosdick right off the jump, and the light heavyweight division was brazen move as well.
Big test, yeah. So he's looking for the smoke, and I respect him for that. But the pressure is totally cooled off. Like, no one's calling for that fight anymore. No one cares.
Well,
it's
nobody's
over.
even talking about Canelo right now.
True.
Like, no, there's no Canelo news.
Yeah.
Except for something about his new taco restaurant.
Tainted meat? Is that all they use?
Yeah, so, dude, you want to bulk up? You got to go to Canelo.
You got to come to get that Canelo low. He's going to fight Billy, right?
I don't know, man.
He's got to fight him. That's just like the perfect, or Skull. Like the perfect, well, he already said, I'm not fighting Skull, though. All right? Because they stripped him for that. So it's got to be Billy. Because he's looking for someone that's like just credible enough to make it a good, interesting fight, but also he's 100% confident that he'll win.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the news will come out sometime at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, when they announce the Cinco de Mayo, Canelo party.
Yeah.
And whoever's lucky enough to dance with him on the night will get a big paycheck. But I don't expect it to be anything that's going to really move the needle for us boxing fans.
No, but it's going to move my DraftKings needle when I bet whoever his opponent is will get knocked down, and then Canelo will win by decision. That's going to be plus 1,100, and I'm going to put all my winnings from your fight right on that.
I'm going for the draw.
Yep.
No.
You go for the draw every time. All right, other boxing news. We got a super card brewing on the Storm front.
Wow.
Super card watch.
Turkey don't mess around.
Turkey coming in. PBC, Amazon, 222. Saudi Arabia, we got Bivol, Beterbiev, rematch
already.
And then they're talking about... they were talking about Boots and Ortiz getting on this fight. They actually came out and said this fight is confirmed and will be on this card. And then this morning, not so much. Very, very disappointed. I just think that's an incredible fight. Still for my, genius commentary from...
Was his boots cursed? Like he just can't get out of Philly, man? Come on.
Well, who is it? I don't know which side let it fall apart. It seems like we don't have nice things in boxing, so it's just like it's got to fall apart for some reason. Which, like, what? Make up a thing these two dudes are fighting about. It's not, I mean, the ring size, all that is established from the headline. Like, what is the problem? Gloves, it's not weight. They fight in the same weight. Well, I guess Ortiz have to come down from 154, or his boots moving up. Maybe that's it. Maybe they wanted to do a catch weight. Couldn't agree on something like that.
Yeah, they're making it sound like Boots changed his mind. Like something happened that made Boots say no. Yeah, I mean it would be a move up to one. You know, Ortiz is never going back to 147. He nearly died twice. You know, with the rhabdo and all that, liver kidney failure and everything.
Yeah,
he's not going back down. So this is asking Boots to move up and take on a really tough fight right out the gate at 154.
I mean, okay, you got to fight somebody, bro. Again, we're talking about Tio. It's like, Boots, this is it, bro. You're in the prime. Like, you got to make a move. I'm like, I kind of get it. Like, I'm not trying to live in a glass house here. It's like, it's scary, man. You got an undefeated record. You're a champ now, 147. Like, what do you want to do? But it's like, you kind of just got to pick a direction and move in it while you have the ability to do so, right? Unless the game plan is like, hey, I'm going to sell out an arena in Philly twice a year. And I don't know what he's making for those fights, but probably close to 7 figures all in, right? Okay, stack those up then. But it doesn't feel like that's what he wants. It feels like he wants like greatness, and it's like, all right, that's probably not gonna happen at 147 because unfortunately, it's sports about entertainment, and there's not a lot of entertaining fights at 147, but there's a shitload of them at 154. So go beat Tim Tszyu, who's it seems like doesn't know how to move his career, and they'll jump right into a fight with Boots. Or take this fight or whatever. Get in the public eye and be great.
Well, hopefully they can sort it out because that's going to be a great fight. Both those guys are great boxers who have showed vulnerability, and we don't really know who's going to win that one.
Yeah. Two uncertain American prospects who both got exposed by Ukrainians.
So, yeah, that's what those fuckers are doing, man.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we got the rematch for the light heavyweight undisputed. How you feeling about that one?
You got to go with Baturiev again.
He's going to get it done again.
I mean, I love Bevel's commentary post fight. I don't know if we talked about any of that on the show. Have you watched any real extended interviews with him?
I haven't.
They're really good to watch. I recommend them because he's so yeah, look, this was my game plan. I felt like I executed it. He's an incredible boxer. He's very strong. He was hurting me through the glove. I feel like he was punching my brain through my glove, right? Very complimentary. But yes, I thought I did enough to win. But also, I didn't do enough to win because I didn't win. The opposite. Some people are like, I won't make any excuses. But here's my 3 excuses. And he's just like, no, I didn't. So I'm going to go back and I'm not really going to change the game plan because I thought my game plan was good. I'm just going to execute it at an even higher level and I'll win the fight. And I don't need 8 months. I don't need that. I don't need a tune-up fight. I'm ready to go again. I'm just like, dude, hats off.
I mean, he has a chance to do it, but obviously the favor is, the guy who's punching you in the brain through the glove. You got to kind of lean towards that guy doing that to you again. But I'm excited to see that. Another, hopefully opens up into a little bit more of a fight. I think Beterbiev can cut the ring off a little bit more and get a little busier earlier. And Bivol could stay a little bit more off the ropes, and if we're talking, obviously you can't do both at the same time, but if one guy's going to make an improvement, Bivol would be able to use his footwork a little bit more, and I don't know, man, that's going to be exciting. And then what else we got on that card?
That's a great point you just made. I just want to highlight that I don't know if Bivol can make an improvement, not because he's not capable of improving, but because I don't know that he needs to improve. I picked Beterbiev in that fight months before the fight. Before it even got rescheduled, I had $100 DraftKings money line on him, right? So that was my guy the whole time. But I thought Bivol probably won, or at least he fought a great fight, right? He doesn't really need to improve that much. He had great combination punching. He could try to hurt him more, and he could try to be on the front foot more, because I guess that's what judges want. But that's for me to make the excuses that he won't make, right? The scorecards were a bit bullshit there. But to your point, Beterbiev can definitely improve. That whole fight, you're watching it like, bro, why don't you like cut the ring off a little bit better and like throw a 4-punch combination instead of a 3-punch combination. And if he figures out how to do that, I think that's when we'll have a material difference in outcome. Where like that's when you're looking at the Beterbiev stoppage, right?
Yeah, and there's a chance that certainly always is with Beterbiev. I mean, that's the first time he's gone the distance was with Bivol, and there's moments there where Bivol looked hurt.
Yeah,
it looked damaged. So we'll see what he can do. What else is on that card?
So
super card.
The super card. The next fight that is still yet to be finalized, but they clearly really want to get Shakur on this fight. And he was supposed to fight William Zepeda, but if Zepeda comes out after this last fight with Farmer and says that he hurt his hand, so he's not going to be able to fight, and they got to put Shakur on something. I mean, Hearn signs a prospect like that. He wants to use him, and he's in charge of this card. So it looks, tentatively, they're talking about Shakur versus Schofield, which I think would be quite an interesting fight. Maybe not every bit as interesting, but close to every bit as interesting as Zepeda.
I mean, that's what this Floyd Schofield's been calling for. He's been wanting this big show, and then all of a sudden the door opens because of an injury, and like hopefully, that could be a history-making moment for him to get himself up into those ranks.
Get his ass whooped by Shakur. Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, there's a good chance he's going to get his ass whooped by Shakur.
I think it's a terrible fight for them. I think his dad is nuts. It's talking about dads in boxing. His dad's just running his mouth every second. We beat Shakur. And you know what? If they beat Shakur, hats off, bro. Good for you. You saw that angle and you took it and you did it. Like, amazing. But you look at him in his last fight and it's like, we're sitting there both on the couch screaming, bro, get back on your defense. You get dropped. Oh, I want to put on a show for the people. Okay, that you're not smart. Boxer.
This is not like the gladiator arena. Like, this is a chess match, and you're getting there with the chess master.
Yeah.
So you're gonna try to go out and put on a show. You're gonna look like Valdez did, completely outclassed. The harder you try, the harder you fail. You can't just brutalize a guy who's smarter than you like that with that educated southpaw lead hand. So it's a good chance for Shakur to get a real statement win over a guy who's been really loud in the media.
Kind of a bad fight for Shakur, do you think, in a way, though? Because if he really, as you just said, totally dominates him, dude doesn't land anything, people will be like, yeah, Shakur's boring, and he fought a young boxer that wasn't ready for that. Wait till he gets in there with Zepeda.
Right. But Zepeda's looking vulnerable now because he got dropped by a journeyman.
Yep.
No disrespect to the journeyman himself who did the job, but that's where he's at right now. And it's like, damn. And now he hurt his hand, too. It's like, shit. Now it's the battle of the broken hands.
Yeah, I mean, I favored Shakur against Zepeda anyways, but at least you kind of have two opposite styles at the top of their game, right? So it's like I said that was like one of my most looked forward to fights. But Schofield, same thing. He's someone that's going to press the action on Shakur, and that's what everybody wants to see is like, okay, you want to be defensive master. Well, what happens when you meet offense?
Right.
So that could be good on that card, and I hope they find someone to replace Boots and Ortiz. But that's the card. They're trying to put more and more on there.
Okay, well that should be cool, man. That should be a good one to watch. That's in February?
February 22nd. It's for it's for my birthday.
Yeah,
that's why they're Turkey. Obviously, big fan of the show.
Yeah,
a lot of respect.
Cool, man. Well, that'll be fun. We'll do some live betting. We'll be in Vegas for that one.
And then I think is Bakolia Jagbe. I think that so the IBF ordered a final eliminator to face Dubois. And I think they're trying to maybe add that to that fight. Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. This is a problem. There's so many rumors.
Yeah, rumors abound in this sport. There's not enough.
So here's the other potential fights
news
that they're talking about for that card. Carlos Adames versus Shiraz. Also talking about for that card. Bakolia Jagbe eliminator. Zhili Zhang versus Kabayel. Also rumored for that card.
Wow.
And then Daniel Dubois still looking for an opponent. Did you see Klitschko was like, I'll come out of retirement. And then thank God that guy walked back. But Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker, they're thinking about adding that to this card.
Wow. I mean, they love their heavyweights. That's clear.
But none of those are confirmed.
Okay. Yeah, they're going to have to really start making something happen over there. But, man, I'm glad Klitschko's not making a comeback. He's been out of it for a long time.
No one wants to see that.
No.
But Daniel Dubois Parker is a great fight. Zhang Kabayel is a great fight. But you could mix them out. Here's what they should do. They should put all those names in a hat and just draw that night. You have no idea who you're going to face. And they're just like, all right, it's Dubois versus Zhang.
Whoa, okay, shit.
Get in the ring
Southpaw.
right now.
The trainers are like, all right, we got a southpaw coming out. We need to move to the left and use a jab.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that'd be a lot of fun. Fighting on the fly.
Fighting on the fly.
All right, well, we'll email Turkey about that and see if he's down.
Yeah, exactly. And then February 8th, fight no one cares about, Chisora, Otto Wallin, confirmed.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, those UK heavyweights stay busy. Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I thought Chisora thought it was the riding off into the sunset at the end of the last fight. That was the perfect moment to hang him up, but nope.
Yeah, he's just a fighter, dude. If he wasn't fighting in the ring, he'd probably be out there fighting in the street.
Fighting, mental degradation.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, well, hopefully these guys don't beat each other too bloody.
I know. Anything else you want to cover today? Should we look ahead at the schedule and just what's coming up towards this last run of the year?
Yeah, let's take a look. We got our local boxing is pretty much done for the year, so I can focus a little bit more on the national scene, international scene, and see what's going on out there.
Well, it's not much this upcoming week, but the week after we start down the home stretch of this year, you got Paro Hitchens, got Navarrete Valdez, which is shaping up to be a great card. Of course, Kiki coming back to fight, and then Rafael Espinoza and Robicio Ramirez. I think that's going to be a great fight with Giovanni Santillan versus Frederick Lawson. Great fight also. Munguia is coming back to fight. Usyk Fury 2, of course.
Yeah, that's our early Christmas present.
I think so.
Hanukkah present.
And then Bohocek versus Madrimov added to that card, which
dude.
that's looking forward to that.
That'd be a good one.
And then Inoue coming back on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve
with Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that fight's kind of finally happening. Busiest boxer in the top of in the top 10 for sure.
Oh yeah,
Guy stays busy.
Is he busier than Bam?
I don't know. I have to take a look at their records, man.
Pretty
Who's
close.
the busiest boxer?
So we're gonna do an end of year show, right? Let's talk real quick. Let's take some notes here real quick.
Yeah.
What do we want to cover end of the show? We got to do fight of the year, of course.
Yeah. Fight of the year.
Got to do KO of the year.
KO of the year. Upset of the year.
Upset of the year. You know what we should add? What do you think about this? Decision of the year.
Decision of the year.
Everyone always does knockout, and it's like, okay, all right.
What was the best decision? Yeah. And all our loyal listeners out there, you guys got anything you want us to add to our end of the year show? Make sure you comment, send us an email or make a comment on our Instagram page.
And then we got to do fighter of the year.
Fighter of the year, yeah.
It's going to be Coach Josh, but
yeah,
a little spoiler.
Well, Masters Division, amateur boxer.
Amateur, Pacific Northwest.
I got a regional title.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Anything else? That's pretty good. Fight of the year, KO of the year, decision of the year, upset of the year, fighter of the year overall. Honorable mention, coach of the year.
Yeah, we could do I don't know. I'll think of some fun
promoter
stuff.
of the year.
Oh, fuck. I mean, Turkey's got that
Turkey.
shit locked down. My guy, Turkey.
We should do podcast of the year.
Oh, sure. Of course.
We are 100% impartial.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Definitely. Podcast host of the year.
Podcast host of the year, right? Yeah, I won an
good.
award. That's true.
Yeah, we have to fight for that one.
Yep.
Arm wrestle.
We just go off our picks head to head. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's not a lot of chance. Those
Damn
draws really come back to fucking kill you right now.
Damn.
I got. You know what I got to do? I need to find some time to finish this massive Excel that I'm doing. It's because I don't want to go back and look at everyone else's picks, but I got them running of our picks versus all the other podcasts.
Okay.
And we can publish that in our end of year episode.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Spoiler alert. It's not looking good. Okay, Chris Mannix. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, I don't know how these guys got the fucking job sometimes.
All right, that's a good list.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a good one. It'll be a fun one. Yeah, local boxing's wrapped up. We got some big fights early next year in January. But, man, I'm going to London. I'm going to do some international podcasting.
Why are you going to London?
Just because that's boxing, man. I gotta go over there, train with Ricky the Hitman Hatton.
That's what it is?
I gotta get that body punch
I
dialed
don't
in.
think this is a boxing trip. I think you want to get your picture taken in a red phone booth, and you're just too embarrassed to admit it.
Nah, man. I got this. I got this wife. She's amazing, and we're just going on the trip.
And that's you picked London.
Well, she's got a business trip over
I
there.
see. Okay.
So we tied in a little holiday, as they call it. We're
Right.
going on holiday
Good. Look at you.
to the beautiful winter vacation location of downtown London, England.
It's nice. It's quaint.
No,
there.
I'm really excited, man.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
That's
She
good.
got a work trip, so I'm just jumping in her baggage and going on the ride with her.
Yeah.
And we added a week to the trip so we could have some fun up there and go to some museums and shit.
I'm gonna put you on game right now. Bring a little drip coffee thing, like a little filter. You can have your normal coffee
Oh,
because it shit did not exist over there.
what?
They call it American coffee,
Yeah.
and it's pretty difficult to acquire.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
you could find a
Dude,
spot.
I
over
drink
there.
like a whole pot of American coffee every morning.
You either got to switch to Americanos, which is the closest they have over there, or you gotta Also, while you're at it, just pack. How long you gone? A week?
10 days.
10 days? Bring 10 days worth of food. It's just
I get some survival MREs and shit.
yeah, you can eat Indian food there.
But I heard everything that's not English food is good there.
I wouldn't say it's good because the problem is they don't have the tongue, the British tongue is evolved, branched away from everyone else's tongue, so they actually can't taste food.
It's like isolated on that island, right?
Yeah, and it's something with the sun. I don't know. I heard about it on Joe Rogan.
Okay.
But
I mean, guy knows everything.
he knows everything, and so even the other cultures' foods, they go there and they start to suffer from the same problem. So it's like it's more edible. It's edible. The British food you can't. I mean, it's cold beans for breakfast, man.
Wow.
They're sick people.
No coffee and cold beans.
No coffee, cold beans, limp white toast, and blood sausage.
I don't want any of that.
Yeah, it's just fried blood,
I don't want.
That's what they're eating.
I don't want none of that shit.
and they just serve it to you. They look you right in the eye, like welcome.
Are they just doing this to fuck with tourists?
That's what I thought when I first went there. I was like, this is like a big practical joke.
Yeah.
Like someone's gonna jump out and be like, "You're punked."
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher's around the corner. But no, man, this is.
I am not eating no fucking blood sausage.
That's why they're
dude.
so
That
sad.
sounds like a fucking trap.
Yeah, they're just a sad, cold, pale people.
Damn, bro. Well, I'm pretty fucking pale too. Do you see? I had to wear shorts in my fight. That's the first time I've worn
I was
shorts.
aware. Yeah.
I'm like, I've apologized for anybody who suffered any long term or lasting eye damage from the whiteness of my legs shining in the ring last Saturday.
Your two little calves look like blood sausages, brother.
You can see the veins in them things. That's dude, between the bald spot and the varicose veins. There's no denying I'm in the masters division of boxing.
Is the bald spot on your
No,
calf?
it's in the
Is that-
back, man. Somebody hit me with that flash on a picture, dude, and I was like, damn.
Like you're gonna make me like Sharpie your skull black underneath in case there's any more flash photography.
Man, that was a good night though, man. A good night for the old guys. The Masters is cool because it's all old guys, but this one was special because it was a hometown thing, and I got to box in front of my family and all my friends. We've been fucking in a boxing relationship now, you and I, for I don't know, 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah,
so
literally, I was going crazy, man. I was going crazy. Very proud of you. It was awesome.
Yeah,
dreams come to life.
Well, this morning has been a dream. It's been so nice to be here with you in the studio.
Of course.
But I'm running out of fucking American coffee.
Oh, I gotta get the fuck out of
And
here.
you got a hot date with some American breakfast.
Yeah, with some real fucking eggs. I'm gonna DM some British people, random British fans today.
Yeah.
Pictures of my breakfast. Be like,
Yeah.
this is how you get it done. Well, we'll be back. We'll do. I'm gonna be in Utah next week. We'll do another remote episode, and then we'll be back to wrap up this year, talk Fury Usyk, and get into all things boxing. It's gonna be an exciting run here the rest of December. So stay locked in.
All right.
Until then, I'm Dust,
I'm Coach.
and that's boxing.